And welcome back. The Gran Turismo Online Touring Series returns for round 2 of Season 2 here at WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca. A couple miles off the coast here on the west coast in California. We got some of the best drivers ready to go to battle here at this hilly road course famous for its turn known as the Corkscrew. And as always, I'm joined by former Touring Series champion Rashad Metz. Rashad Metz, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty great today, Miles.
It's great to have you alongside me as always, and this is going to definitely be a fun race here today. We went from the high banked oval, which Rashad Metz, the former champion, won last week. Went from the high banked oval to the road course here. So, what do you think the differences and the challenges that these drivers are going to face here today?
Well, it's a lot different than these high banked ovals. High banked ovals in the package that you run on those tracks, typically a lot of forgiveness you can say there because you get to stay in the draft. You can tuck in behind somebody and just run your race and just be consistent. It's only two corners, but it's a lot of high speed, a lot of narrow, a lot of high speed, a lot of close action here. But right now, it's basically you're on your own here. You have to be able to be consistent in all the corners on these road course tracks, especially here. This track is very confusing, not very confusing, but very hard to conquer, especially with the large varieties of fast and slow corners. It's going to really put these drivers' skills to the test and really show you who's really quick and who can really showcase the best car today.
We sure do got a variety of cars and drivers here today, so it's definitely going to be a fun race. So let's not waste any time and let's get down to the Mets painting grid walk. So sitting on pole here today, Trevor Levine won the pole on his birthday, so wish him a happy birthday. In that number 95 Lexus, he had a really fast car during practice and qualifying, ran the fast or was the fastest car throughout the entire field in both, and set it on the pole. He did win last year's race at this track, so look for him to pick up another win and maybe one for his birthday.
Rolling off next, we have Donnie Wu in the Mitsubishi, and the number 55, it looks like, on the side of this car. But right now, Donnie Wu is really trying to get a good finish today. He's got pretty good during practice and pretty good during qualifying, popping up here later in practice. But I think Donnie Wu has a nice, strong chance of beating Trevor Levine here, and I think he might be able to get it done.
And rolling off P3 is the former Touring Series champion, Rashad Metz, in that number 24 Metz painting car. Rashad Metz, this is one of his favorite tracks, and he has a lot of fun here. Been doing a lot of practicing, but he said the car's not quite up to speed. He was hoping to find some more speed during the race today. Doesn't quite have the speed that Trevor Levine has in that 95 car, but he thinks that he's going to have something for him here in the race. So look for him to be running up front and competing for the win.
Next, we have GRT Sissy. Thing about Sissy, he had a fast car in the other races that we've seen him in his debut races, and right now he's one of the guys that we were looking forward to seeing on the road course. But during the qualifying and practice sessions, his car was not very fast. He made a lot of mistakes during practice and qualifying, so he's hoping to recover from that, and we hope to see him up in the front later this race.
And rolling off P4, Miles Johnson. Miles Johnson is not the road course racer, so he said he's just hoping for a top 5 finish here today. The former Northern Iowa Speedway track champion, so he's a good oval racer, but not that quite on a road course. He said he'd love to compete for a podium today, but he'd be content with the 5th place finish.
Rolling off next, we have the number 99 Reese's Porsche of Javen Tucker. Javen Tucker has not been having that much luck here in Laguna Seca this afternoon. He said the car's not really handling the way he wants it to. The same problem he was having at Northern Isle earlier this season. He's trying to make sure he can maximize the car today, and he wants to see if he can gain as many spots as he possibly can.
And rolling off in the final spot on the grid is Peganex. Peganex had a pretty fast car during practice. He's a rookie to the series. He has shown some flashes of talent in the weekly series back toward the beginning of the league, where he scored a couple podiums and almost scored a win, but Rashad Metz took that away in the final 10 laps. So look for Peganex to be finalizing and getting a little bit better at his road racing today, so look for him to be building upon that talent. And that's it for your Mets painting grid walk. We've got some of the best drivers lined up to put on a show for you today. The 30 minutes of Laguna Seca. It's the GTO Touring Series. Let's get ready to get this thing started. cars are lined up, ready to go. And they're off. The lights are out. We're racing at Laguna Seca.
Seems like Trevor Levine has got a bad start off the start so far. Donnie Wu goes out to first place. Rashad Metz follows him. And follows suit's getting a second place there. Let's see if Rashad Metz will try to go for the lead here in the race, or he's going to try to ride behind. But Donnie Wu is out to a decent lead so far. Trevor Levine's in P3. Miles Johnson up to P4. Donnie Wu goes off the track. Rashad Metz is right on his bumper. I think that top three are going to be 3 cars to watch this race.
God knows the tail now, so Rashad Metz is trying to got fast left.
He's going to be a little patient here. He's going to run up the hill before the corkscrew. He's going to try to go for a move. Doesn't quite go for one.
Oh, Trevor Levine's in the mix again.
I think the drivers will be exhibiting a lot of patience here in this race, because this 30 minutes is a very long time for these drivers to be driving on the limit, and to be consistent for all 30 minutes is the key to being successful at this racetrack. And being consistent at Laguna Seca is one of the most difficult things that you could possibly do. GRT Sissy gets the overtake done on the straightaway. The lead battle is starting to spread out a little bit.
Tire smoke out of the 55 car going on turn 1.
He's locking up some tires, going on to braking. These cars are perfectly, as you see, these drivers are driving that driving line. Donnie Wu is up 5/10 of a second. 5 seconds.
Off the track a little bit there, but Rashad Metz.
Trevor Levine trying to go up the inside of Rashad Metz. Rashad's just trying to hang it on the outside. Is he going to be able to do it? Gets a run up the hill side by side. Not where you want to be side by side at. And they navigate it. No contact. Still side by side.
This has to sign of two good racers. They know when to give and when to take. Without, it's really still knows the tail coming down out of the corkscrew. Metz gets a little loose into the gravel.
I think we're going to see a lot of loose moments from that number 24 car, Rashad Metz, because he loves driving a looser race car. It's typically his preferences. It goes well with his driving style. But it's still side by side with Trevor Levine for the battle for second place. But Rashad passes him once again.
Not really changing position behind these guys. But these two battling for second place is definitely going to open up.
Huge slide, big moment. Trevor Levine might try to go up to the inside. Couldn't quite get there. Going to be a little bit of patience going to play here. But the question is, how patient can you be with Donnie Wu out there on the clean air, just pulling away as of right now?
One thing that Rashad Metz always says coming into these road courses is you got to get all of your mulligans out of the way as quick as you possibly can, so you can have a perfect latter half of the race. And
see, another one of those mulligans he's making. And Trevor Levine is just right there on his bumper. And another huge moment.
Trevor Levine's going to slip past after that one.
That fast.
Striking distance now.
That fast left-hander is very dangerous. And you see Miles Johnson in P4 just reeling in those two battling second and third place drivers right now.
Miles Johnson's doing pretty good today, hanging on to that fourth place spot. Is in reach of the podium, the top 3. And I know you picked him last night during our weekly series to win, but he's doing pretty good for what he had.
See YouTube Donnie Wu is out there into a nice
in the back of the pack.
Ooh.
Let's see what happened here.
Javen Tucker goes wide, gets a little bit of gravel. He's in the braking zone. His car's really loose so far.
Yeah, he went way out too long.
Takes two.
Help there?
It didn't look like he had. It looked like he was on the asphalt.
Here's the looking from the front bumper of Paganex's car. Yeah, just got loose off of the gravel there. tough break.
A trend we've been seeing throughout practice and qualifying is these drivers will set a flawless lap everywhere else, and on that simple, well, it seems simple compared to the other corners on this racetrack, but that final corner, they lose a lot of time there if it's not done perfectly every time. So you're going to see a lot of drivers struggle there, especially when it comes to getting the power down quickly, and it's going to cause huge problems, I would say, later as we go through this race.
There's a lot of drivers who hear them talk about sausage curves over those big curves on the inside of the turns, and they really affect how the car is driving. You can almost toss the car across the track. You got to get as close as you can to those sausage curves without hitting them.
Trevor Levine has moved up to second position after overtaking Rashad Metz here. I think he's going to try to make a run for Donnie Wu and the lead. But Trevor Levine, the thing about Trevor Levine and Alexis, he was 0.6 faster than second place when it comes to the pole time. So I think Trevor Levine has the car to beat in this race so far, and he's really showing you how fast he really is today. I think he's going to be a championship favorite going on throughout the season.
Alexis is fast week in, week out. Did not get the finish he was hoping for last week. 125. I think he finished 4th or 5th, so he's hoping to pick it up a little bit this week. He is definitely reeling in Donnie Wu there. He's only a couple of car lengths now.
Running a purple sector as of just then. There's have a lot of time left in this race. Trevor Levine is just reeling him in. He's got a saltwater fishing rod reeling in a brim in a pond is what it looks like now. It's like he's just a sitting duck out there.
Heating up here.
Side by side towards the... Not really a place you want to battle at, but they're going to really try to navigate it. Sissy backs out, but he sticks his nose back in there. Miles Johnson just able to hold him off. What an incredible showcase so far by Miles Johnson, but he gets a little tight on entry. Sissy is trying to make a run to the inside. Sissy's trying to make a charge for the front here. He said his car was not the best today. It was not handling well. He's having a lot of problems with wheel spin on the exit of the corners. So we're going to see what he can do in that Renault Sport today and see if he can work his way maybe onto the podium. But Miles Johnson, I think, has something else to say as he tries to go for the inside. Almost gets his nose chopped off there.
He's been battling a hard race, but GTO or GRT Sissy has made a lot of mistakes during practice.
Got a yellow flag. Donnie Wu.
The leader out of the lead. Let's see what happened here. Goes into the turn.
Sausage curb.
Yeah, got a little bit too much with the curb. And just loses it. Nothing he can do. Trevor Levine, he's your new leader.
That is the perfect showcase of how destructive those sausage curbs can truly be at this road course. See, Laguna Seca is a very tricky track, especially let alone without the thinking about a sausage curb, but you're trying to take carry as much speed through these corners, and those sausage curbs are right there, just inches. You move the car over inches, just an inch too far, and you're hitting that sausage curb, and you're going to find your way in the gravel trap and around, just like Donnie Wu has. But Trevor Levine assumes the lead after that spin.
Just able to slip past. Now they're going to go to battle for second place now.
Oh, did GRT Sissy spin?
As well. I think he hit the same exact sausage curve, I believe, that Donnie Wu just hit. Yep. There it is.
Trying to gas it up to save the car, but couldn't quite get it done.
Same sausage curve. Claimed 2 cars in the lap. The battle for second place is definitely heating up, though. I bet you Donnie Wu is definitely saying, "Uh-oh, Rashad, I'm here."
So the thing about Donnie Wu and Rashad Metz, their lap times were very close in qualifying, but just significantly off of Trevor Levine. But as you see, Rashad Metz very loose through the corkscrew there. But Donnie Wu's going to try to capitalize. The thing about these two drivers, between the Corvette and the Mitsubishi, they're lap times are very give and take. Rashad may be faster in Sector 1 and Sector 2, but Donnie makes up the ground in Sector 3. Where Rashad's car lacks, Donnie's car makes up, so it makes for a very interesting battle and concept here between these two drivers. You see they're sending in Donnie Wu, sent it in a little too much there, went in a little too hot, but he's staying on that bumper of Rashad Metz. I think he's trying to learn how to navigate the dirty air at this track because it is very difficult to follow people in these fast corners. Very big moment there.
Side by side now. Metz is going to just have the tuck in behind him there. Johnson has faded a little bit, but he's still within striking distance if these two say they wreck or make a mistake.
Indeed it is, Miles. I think that's what Miles Johnson is looking for right now, looking for that mistake for these drivers to make that give him that extra position, because Miles Johnson trying to maximize the points, because I don't think he believes that he can win this race. He doesn't think he has the car to win this race, but with a little luck on his side, like I said, commentating the weekly series race, he could really make something happen today. See, Donnie Wu is pulling away from Rashad Metz behind, but Trevor Levine has reached an unspeakable gap as of right now, dominating the race. Still running.
All this last year, where Trevor Levine got out to a huge lead, but we did have tire and fuel strategy during that last race here last year. But he's just so good at this track that he's a force to be reckoned with.
See, the thing we can see, if we look at the times, Trevor Levine has been running under a minute and 20 seconds consistently for the past 4 laps straight, and usually these drivers can't reach that kind of speed even with the slipstream, so it plays a huge factor, and it really shows us how fast and dominant Trevor Levine's car is today.
I mean, if you look at his last 3 or 4 laps, all 120, but if you look at second place, Rashad Metz, his fastest lap is 121.
It's just a lot of speed there. Huge discrepancy between these two drivers with their speed. But Miles Johnson, after a lot of mistakes and hard battle between Donnie Wu and Rashad Metz, Miles Johnson is still trying to stick his nose. And it seems like where it doesn't belong, but he's going to try to make it belong. Rashad Metz goes wide there as they go into that slow left-hander, but Donnie Wu gets a nice run on exit. Both get loose. Impressive racing so far between these drivers. Precision is key here at Laguna Seca, this very difficult racetrack. Rashad, as you see that back end, it steps out just a little bit. Rashad likes it just a little tad bit loose. He said it, he's talking to us during practice. He said he liked his brake bias set more towards the rear of the race cars, which is making it step out just a little bit there. And he said that's how he likes his car to drive, and he said it helps it turn in these corners. So he's starting to set down some consistent laps, making a decent bit of gap in front of Donnie Wu here.
Which I also heard that during practice, Rashad Metz did share some setup information with Miles Johnson. I think there's a little teamwork involved there. Just a friendly competitive.
I think it might be friendly competitive, but I mean, those are the only two drivers in the league driving American-made vehicles. So I feel like these guys are trying to work together and try to dial in their cars together, because I feel like these cars handle similarly and they have very similar characteristics. So I feel like they can take notes from each other's game plan and really try to form one strong strategy together.
You see these 2 or 3 cars battling hard. Second spot is allowing Trevor Levine just to open up even bigger lead.
Trevor Levine is just hooked up on a whole nother level this race. A lot of concentration. Everybody put at least 50 to 100 laps of practice prior to this race, and that's at least 2 hours of solid racing just for a 30-minute race. These drivers have been putting in the work, putting in the effort, trying to get their cars as fast as possible, really trying to dial them in. As you see now that Trevor Levine has put in the most work, because his car has really been dialed in. Miles Johnson goes a little wide onto the sand. Very impressed with him so far this race, keeping it in 4th position. As you see, we're missing one driver in the field, I think. Peganex dropped out.
Just mechanical failure, ended up staying in the gravel, I think.
Retired from the race early. Sad to see.
Javen Tucker ended up retiring in a 99 Porsche. I believe after that hard contact he had with the wall towards the beginning stage of the race.
He was having handling problems all race. He was complaining to it on the radio very frequently, and I think he just got tired of handling it, or the car just took up a mind of its own, and they made that big contact, so he had to retire the car from the race.
We've seen a couple of drivers complaining about their cars handling. Now they are allowed, I believe, one car change, but it does have to be approved by the Gran Turismo Online League officials. Do you think we're going to see any car changes coming up for these couple road course races we got coming up here?
Honestly, I do, because the way these races are is just these drivers have to pick. If they pick a car, it's an easy decision to make when it comes to switching cars. It's just like, maybe my car's just not fast this weekend, maybe I can bring it back next weekend and really go after it. But once it comes down to the nitty-gritty and the points start getting spread out, you kind of want to make that decision as fast as possible, but picking that car is very, very difficult, because you want to make sure your car can handle perfectly for the rest of the races this season. So that involves the oval races and even the other road course races. So really trying to get that car, the next car you have, to be perfect for those races is what makes it so difficult. As you see Donnie Wu getting to the bumper of Rashad Metz in this race, trying to narrow that gap.
They've been fun to watch as we enter the halfway point of the race. We're 15 minutes in, so around 15 minutes to go on this 30-minute race.
12 laps in so far. Hadn't been much shuffling of position, but that's just how road course racing is. It's not precise. You want to take those crazy risks. You're on your own. It's just between the driver and the car at this point. You have to know how your car handles, you have to get the rhythm of the track, and you have to know how to drive it. Those two factors come together to make a mosh pit of success, is what I want to call it.
But you can also see a lot of similarities between the racing that you see here in the racing. You see some short tracks almost kind of like you can see bumping, running, just on smaller scales, or just about 2 cars at a time instead of multiple.
Indeed it is. You can see a lot of similarities. Like, these drivers, I feel like their crew chiefs are taking notes these races, trying to see how they can take the information from this road course and the performance of these road courses and compare them to performances of last season, and see how they can help determine how to make their car faster for the rest of the road courses of this race. And at the beginning of the season, the first road race and the first oval race, so the first 2 races of the season, are very important to get information to carry on to the rest of the season in order to be able to make sure your car is the fastest on track at all times. You see Trevor Levine, we were talking about him being a road course rigger, not very good of a performance last race at Northern Isle, but right now he's really shining at the road courses, so I feel like he's going to be a championship favorite, judging by how many road courses there are. But Miles, as we saw in his Northern Isle race, he didn't finish very well. So do you think that his lackluster finishes at these ovals are really going to take a toll in the points? Because as we saw last season, Rashad was very consistent on the ovals and the road courses. So how do you think it's going to play out in the points as the season goes on?
There's going to definitely be a huge shuffle in the points come this weekend, because you figure you had Michael Shoemaker, who finished 3rd, and he was only able to make the race today. He did qualify his car, so he's going to get last place points. Javen Tucker, who finished 2nd last week, dropped out of the race early due to mechanical issues, so he's going to lose a lot of points today. Miles Johnson's having a good day, so he's going to gain a lot of points today. Rashad Metz having another good day, so he's probably going to gain a lot of points. And Trevor Levine having a good day, so there's going to be a lot of shuffling of points.
I feel like following this race, the points are going to be really tight, judging by how the order is as of right now.
Which as of right now, Rashad Metz in that number 24 car is your leader in points. Of course, Jaden Tucker is 2nd, but most likely will not be, since he DNF'd out of this race.
So Miles, let's talk about next week's race. It's not a points race, but how are those races going to happen? It said it's going to be in the dirt. So we're going to see these cars go on the dirt, and it's really going to showcase a different set of skills that these drivers have to showcase there. It's all for fun, but just explain to us how that race is going to go and what these drivers have to do.
So basically, we just want to have some fun with our normal drives. Of course, we still will have the 30 minutes of Dragon Trail, I believe, on Saturday. So I think we're going to run the dirt race on that Sunday with that of the following week. But basically, it's just these same cars that you're seeing, like Miles Johnson on right now, but without the wings and without some downforce on them, so they're going to be a little bit more slipping and sliding. And it's going to be fun to watch them kick up some dirt, get sideways. Just going to be out here racing for fun to see who's the best dirt driver out of the league.
So you said y'all have been doing some pre-race testing for the dirt race. So just explain to us how did the testing look? What kind of racing are we looking forward to seeing?
Rashad Metz and Miles Johnson did a lot of testing. They were side by side a lot. One would drift to the inside, and one would try to drift to the outside. Then they would switch over next with a lot of switch moves and cutbacks, and just a lot of fun racing that's fast paced. Even got some jumps in there, so you can see these cars catch some air. Other than off a sausage car, some cars doing this race.
Indeed. So what I also saw when we were looking at the testing and how the car is going to be set up, not only are we losing downforce, but it seems like they're adding horsepower. So what we said we're going to be running between 800 and 900 horsepower when these cars right now are driving between 500 and 600. How do you think that's going to make a difference when it comes to that dirt racing?
You're going to have to do a lot more throttle control, because you figure you do have to do a good amount of throttle control here at these cars, and that's a lot of horsepower. But you figure you're not going to have pavement underneath your wheels come next week. You're going to have dirt. So you're going to do a lot more slipping and have to be careful putting the power down in order to get off the corner.
Indeed. Okay. We'll be still here in the race. Trevor Levine still has a massive gap, followed by Rashad Metz and Donnie Wu, followed by Miles Johnson and GRT Sissy. You see they're still...
Sissy's
going out.
Let's see what happened here. Got loose in the gravel there. Try to get it back. Yep, tried to save it. Overcorrected it. Massive slide.
Not only did he spin out, but he knocked down one of those braking markers, and I don't think those drivers are going to be very happy with the fact that he took out the braking marker.
There's the braking marker, I believe, right there. See? Yeah, which that's going to affect a lot of drivers that use that braking marker to know when to stop are not going to be able to, since it's off in the gravel pit somewhere.
Just getting that car back going. Back in the race. Looks like Miles Johnson might be home free for at least 4th position in this race. But you see the battle between second place is getting more and more heated right now as Donnie Wu works on the rear bumper, but goes a little wide because of that dirty air.
See, the drivers are complaining a lot about dirty air here in these tracks. They still are able to race really good. But this season we have a lot different package than last season. Big boost, which was able to creating closer pack racing, but this driver with no boost this year in this package, you have to run. It's all true to their driver's ability. So this just shows how good Trevor Levine was tracked, and it shows how equal Donnie Rashad Metz are.
So Miles, walk us through the rest of the season. Like just tell us what races should we be looking out to see, and which ones you think are going to be which race are you looking most forward to this season?
Of course, we got the dirt race, which is a non-points race coming up next week. That's going to be a fun one, do a little slip beside it. We got Dragon Trail coming up, the next points race, which Dragon Trail Seaside, that circuit, it's unknown if it has a future race, depending on how that race goes and how the finish goes. That race might be dropped from the schedule. Of course, we don't know how our new road course is going to be this year, but that race has some uncertainty with its future in the league. We have some negotiations going on, so we'll keep you updated on that. Then the next race after that, of course, is Spa in the rain, our only rain race on the circuit. So that's going to be fun. You can see these drivers do a little slip on the side and in the rain on some pavement at the historic Spa circuit. course, we're going to go to BB Raceway, which is kind of a road course over mixture. So a lot of close pack racing there as well with the high boost and strong slip package. So it's going to be fun to watch them battle hard there.
Go side by side right now for second place, going into the corkscrew. We're going to be able to hold it.
Side by Donnie, he's up the spot.
These drivers are starting to get to the point where they're starting to make those moves. Donnie Wu is really big moment for Rashad Metz there.
Fortunately, he was able to collect it. We have under 7 minutes remaining, so only a handful of laps left. You say Trevor Levine's pretty much going free if he doesn't make any major mistakes. Of course, with these two racing as hard as they are behind him, they pretty much fallen off a little bit. And Miles Johnson is falling way back from these two front drivers. And Sissy's pretty much out of touch the majority of the field after a bunch of spins. He's not having the day he hoped for today, so hopefully he'll be able to go a little better next week.
Trevor Levine's car is going to have to explode for any of these drivers to catch him. He is really consistent, really fast this race, and he's really showing off. But that second place battle is heating up, though.
What more could you want on your birthday, Trevor Levine's birthday, and he's out here leading the majority of the GTO race. So what better birthday than to bring home a win in the series here today. We'll see if he'll be able to get her done here in closing laps.
Oh, some side-by-side racing almost. Donnie was on his bumper.
It's always fun to watch these two race. They race hard no matter what side they take them to. So much experience between these two drivers.
Donnie was trying to go to the inside.
They battle for the championship majority of the season. Smith's trying to break the draft, I think, there.
Trying to give him just a little bit of space for the corners. Donnie Weaver trying to go for the inside, couldn't quite get there.
Little nudge there, entering the corner, that double hit.
Still on his bumper. The driver's right now in third gear, working back up to fourth as you see downshifts mid-corner to try to carry the momentum throughout the corner. Very tricky corner to get right, especially if you're in the toe, in the slipstream. You want to shift down to third gear, maybe even second, try to get a run off the corner, especially uphill. This is where it's really important for time. You have to try to maximize those gears, not overdrive, because when you go uphill, if your car is not in high revs, you will lose a lot of time. You see Donnie Wu was pretty bad on that uphill section, losing a little bit of time to Rashad Metz.
But you figure the uphill section of this track, it's a very gradual uphill kind of rise, but then that corkscrew drops you down that same height very, very quickly, which can cause a lot of cars to get light, and that's a tough spot on the track.
There's a lot of G-forces on the drivers and the cars. It's like just squishing them down into the seat. It's like gravity gets doubled. Trevor Levine is just leisurely cruising around this track.
I'm sure that the GTO officials will have to check twice in that post-race inspection to make sure everything's legal on that car, how fast it is today.
This is a wild race so far, Miles, and look forward to the rest of the season to see what all these drivers can do, because it's not like they're just one or two winners in this series. There is multiple winners, and they're all good at different disciplines, and it's really going to show later in the season at who's battling. Ooh, a little bit of sausage curb clippage by Donnie Wu. But I feel like with each oval race this season, it's going to really shake up the points.
You got a lot of good road racers, and you got a lot of good road course racers, and you got some in the middle. So it's going to be fun to watch how that shuffles everything up.
We know there's another oval this race, another season. Two more oval visits this season. We have the All-Star race at Northern Isle, and also the finale, pretty sure, is still at Blue Moon Bay Raceway, and also BB Raceway. So a lot more oval action for all those oval racing fans out there. So, Miles, tell us about the All-Star race. What's going to happen in the All-Star race?
So, of course, we're going to go back to the old faithful high-banked oval of Northern Speedway, another race night under the lights. We are going to have, I believe, an open race, but in order to get, so we'll be racing for a $20 PlayStation gift card. But in order to make the race, you have to be a previous winner or champion in the series. So Rashad Metz, Donnie Wu, Trevor Levine, Ross Johnson, Jay Tucker, to name a few, will already automatically advance into the race. But the rest of the pack, they will have to race in the open race, and the top 2 finishers in that race will advance into the All-Star race.
Side-by-side action there, going through the corkscrew. Rashad gets really loose, and Donnie Wu overtakes and takes the position. Donnie Wu really was patient, riding behind Rashad, learning how to drive in the dirty air, learning how his car handles. They say, I told you, Miles, it's very important to dial these cars in. And Donnie Wu goes wide in the gravel, so is Rashad going to be in striking distance? Not quite.
It is about toward the end of the race, so will these drivers be able to make it to the line before the final lap?
As they take lap 22.
This might be the last lap for these 2 drivers here.
Trevor Levine's in first place right now.
These 2 still battling hard for second place.
Massive battle. He's losing a lot of ground so far. I feel like Rashad's car is not handling the way he wants it to. I think it's a lot of frustration. I guess it got too loose as the race went on. But Trevor Levine in first place. Imagine how happy he is right now on his birthday. Baked himself a cake. And now he's going to try to come out here and he's going to make this race look like a piece of cake. Trying to pick up his first victory this season in that number 95 Lexus. He was driving the Jaguar last season, and he switched over to the Lexus after getting a better contract.
Well, I believe that's pretty much the end of the race here. Metz isn't going to be able to make it to the line in time. Metz is going to finish 3rd. Miles Johnson's going to finish 4th. But happy birthday, Trevor Levine. Trevor Levine is going to win on his birthday, pick up his 4th career Toyota Series win. What a race we had here today.
Still the final lap as he's working his way around. Trevor Levine, one of the best road course racers we have in the league. If you can go head-to-head with Trevor Levine, you are definitely in the greats of the GTO Series conversation. Even though we're on season 2, Trevor Levine is really showing that he is a championship favorite, and never to count him out ever. Even though he's had poor performances on the ovals, he makes it up on the road courses. Trevor Levine comes through the final corners in that number 95 Lexus, Exxon Lexus, goes through the final corner.
And off the final turn, happy birthday, Trevor. Oh, I almost said Trevor Bain. Happy birthday, Trevor Levine.
Trevor Levine will win on his birthday at Laguna Seca.
What a race today.
Impressive and dominant win by him. Donnie Wu, loose off the final corner, will bring it home 2nd place. Rashad Metz bringing home 3rd. Miles Johnson following in 4th. And GRT Sissy in P5. Not the race he wanted, but the best race he could have got as you saw Donnie Wu doing donuts across the line. But what a great race.
A lot of fun racing here tonight. We hope to see you all next weekend for our dirt race and possibly 30 minutes of Dragon Trail. If we decide that we're going to run that race this weekend with the dirt race, we'll see how all this works out. Thank you all for watching, and thank you, Rashad Metz, for joining me as always.
No problem.
Alrighty, y'all have an excellent week, and we hope to see you next weekend. Y'all have a good one.